All right, it is Wednesday and news day. ADP jobs report was really light, so a lot of news this week. Economy contraction stuff. So we have had a pretty steep little sell-off. So we got to see kind of what we're expecting today. So let's see here what we're going to look for. We're going to have a really nice couple sets of gaps going into the open, some good trend lines. So let's just see if we can get it going. It's about 3 minutes to the open, as is typical. I get on late and just chart it real quick. So let's see what we get today. Should be an interesting morning. Also, it is the end of the month. So we will have quite a few options expiration stuff happening today. So typically on expiration days, big expiration days, the monthlies, we will see big moves, so trying to clear out a bunch of options positions. So, and make both sides of a lot of them hit that they're close to. So we should see some 5-point swings pretty easily today. News is really not good today, honestly. So I wouldn't be surprised to see us have a pretty substantial pullback. I had a line at 18.9 yesterday that we may be going for. We'll see. Got to obviously watch QQQ2 today because, it's 5-point swings on QQQ. So I'm going to watch that stuff as well. So let's see what we get this morning. As usual, take it easy at the open. I do have a nice little cushion built from last night because I did trade a little last night. Some volatility last night that was nice. So we'll see what we can get here. These shorter term trend lines here. Basically held the low from 2 days ago. Man, we'll see what we get. 2 minutes till the open. Let me double check here real quick on the news.
Scott, you see Meta, Microsoft, and eBay every yard today as well.
Yeah, gonna be a pretty volatile day. So I was thinking about sitting, and I didn't realize that was the end of the month. So
It's
I thought
in the
for some
news
reason
today as well. Yeah.
GDP was down. That's a big deal, but I mean they kind of were predicting that. So we'll see what we get here. This is the 5-minute chart. I'm just gonna look at some stuff on the hourly and the daily real quick. And of course, I don't have my settings right for some stupid reason. Let's fix that. Come on, Ninja. Come on. Yeah, that 200 on the hourly is very much in play today for sure. So, we got to watch that. And then this gap here on the hourly, we definitely need to watch. It could be a 3% day down. We'll see. I'm going to watch that pretty close. 18.7 is a support trend line that I've had for a couple days too. Check the daily real quick. Jesus, Ninja. Stop being so damn slow. Seriously, I'm gonna have to reinstall this crap. I don't know what the hell the problem is with it. Probably because too many trend lines. We did reject the 50 on the daily. I did mention that yesterday briefly. So yeah, we got to see what we get here. This is another nice little support trend line I need to tighten up, but I'll tighten that up on the hourly. So we are open. Let's see what we get this morning. First rule is not being a rush. So don't screw around in the middle. Try to catch either the top or the bottom of support resistance area and work off of that. This is going to be really nice. We should have a really nice 5-minute bearish gap. Got a couple of them. Got a couple of them. That was a nice little retest there and rejection. Would have been a good spot. Would have been a good spot. No need to be in a rush. People will try that double bottom. Oh, show. I wouldn't hold that much against you if you do try that double bottom there. I'd look for the retest of this 5-minute gap and then the 1-minute gap that's there as well. And a little 1-minute gap that's at the top, 50 on the 1, 2. So we're gonna get some continuation. We'll probably test this area and then head back down. Is the thought. So let's see what we get. Scalp this fool back up here. Cheap trade. Might as well try it. The trend is obviously down. The news is obviously bad. We want to try to trade the trend. Got PT1. Just hit the ATM key. That's it. Do that up there. There like that. See if we get the 50 in the underside. That's kind of what I want. And then I'll reverse. Start building a short position. Got PT2. You do now have another little bearish gap here. So on the 1-minute chart, it's going to be a pretty big gap. I think we test the underside of the 50. This is the one I really want to get into. But I'll be 75% out if we get to the top of this in the 50. Yeah, can't complain. 35 points right now. That's the midpoint of that gap. A lot of people try that area. I like where you got the two that come together, and then I'm not going to say that's going to be the channel, but that's the projected short-term channel. So I kind of have to fix that a little bit. Let me actually fix that. Got my orders in, right? Yes, got my orders in. So let's go ahead and just throw a quick little short-term channel on this guy. Actually, I'm probably going to throw a bigger channel on it. Let's do this one first. There to there. Downtrend channel. So we're going to make that guy red. We got to set that up as a hotkey. And then the one I really like. Okay, just got some off there at the 50. That order hit. This is the 5-minute gap we're coming into now. So not going to reverse here yet. I kind of want to, but I kind of really want to get into this gap here. Wouldn't be surprised to, we could also retest yesterday's low. Wouldn't be a shocker to me. See where QQQ is sitting right now. Where's old QQQ sitting? Where you at, old guy? 466. We printed 465.50 after the open, so we still been taking out 465. I'm going to do a little hedgy here, I think. Still think we test this gap here, the midpoint of it. Anybody try that when I said that was a cheap trade? Figured we'd come all the way back up the top of that gap, or the bottom of that 5-minute gap. Cheap trade, even late to that trade, you should have got 40 points. I just took some off the hedge. Take more off at the bottom, especially if it holds. Got it. Now let's see what we get. Stop on the shorts moved up, or stop on the long has moved up. I'm gonna treat this like that same trade I took yesterday, that reversal trade into the 5-minute. So I'll scale pretty quick until we get into this, and then I'll wait and see what we do. What else? We have PC at 10, right? Anybody remember?
Yeah,
Alexa.
10.
Okay.
PC at 10, yeah.
Yeah,
And,
PC
and consumer spending.
and friggin' pending home sales, which will be down.
Yeah.
So. I don't know. Interest rates dropped a tiny bit. They may not be. I would not be surprised, like I said, to see a 3% day today.
There's a lot of houses gone up for sale around where I live, and none are selling.
Yeah, stuff's still selling pretty good in my area. But stuff that used to, be multiple bids, the second to hit the ground, now is taking, maybe a week before they get there. So very nice, very nice. Did you try the underside of that gap, Ant, on the 5-minute?
Yes, I did.
Very nice.
I didn't catch the long though, but that was a good long as well.
Yeah, it's cheap trade there, I
Cheap
thought.
trade.
So
Yeah.
again, I wanted us to test the underside of that gap. So
No, yep, I know. That's the underside. Yeah, the underside of the 5-minute.
I'm gonna get a quick here. I got my orders placed. I'll be right back. I did get stopped out of the long, still great.
So if you see anyone who's on that call, that big bearish gap that we made from that first candle, we never closed above it. So even if you took the midpoint, I know that it's a big gap and you would have had to hold basically 20 points against you, but we never closed above, and then we got the dump.
So what was the news? I just got on.
I really don't, bro. I don't even really pay attention to the news. I just listen to other people.
Yeah.
GDP is down.
Oh, okay.
It's not good news.
Yeah, I think like anytime GDP is down, I would,
It's GDP
Really?
advance. I don't know if that's GDP, but that's what it is.
So like I don't know what the number the PCE computer make. What is it? Price consumer. What is it? PCE. What does it stand for?
Like
I don't know
the
what the E is.
personal consumption, basically. How much money people are spending.
Gotcha. And what's the
You would
difference between that
you
and
would think
consumer
with
confidence?
You would think with consumer confidence and consumer sentiment both getting wrecked recently,
Okay.
that PC is going to be bad. You would think that, but as we've seen before, a lot of these reports are contradictory. So 75% out of the short, looking for a place to add.
I got 50% left.
Got another little bearish gap here. Again,
Yep.
I'm really wouldn't be surprised at all if we see 3%. We're already down 2%. So on NQ, we just did print 465 too. So maybe they're going to try to take 460 out. They'll either take 460 out or 470 out today, is my guess. But 460 is probably a better bet.
You have a 5-minute channel line. Where's it going?
What was that? I'm sorry.
No, I'm just looking for like a gap or like something that sticks out on the hourly. But
Well, the hourly, this guy here is the one that sticks out in the hourly, the one that's right down at this 19.
Okay, yeah.
So if you look back,
That was from that huge
bullish.
update.
Yeah, that was the last bullish gap, big bullish
Yeah.
gap we had on the hourly.
Okay.
So once this settles down a little bit, I'll chart it a little bit bigger. I actually think I need to do the channel now, the new downtrend channel, because this guy's getting pretty steep. So I'm going to go ahead and take, I'm going to make 2. So
Baby, let's go. All right. Got
that's
2
nice.
left.
I'm going to make 2 trend channel. Whoa, 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 whoa. That's not what I wanted, man. I didn't want it there. Come on, dude. Piece of shit. Yeah. Let's redo that. Oh, I have to put that on the damn stream deck as a hotkey. I don't know why. I'm too lazy to do that. Let's take that guy there. So we're through that. So we're going to look for the steeper one now. So the steeper one is the one after the open. So let's do this guy here. That guy there, down to there. That'll get us our gap filled. 15. We're going to make that guy red again. So that's what we're looking for now. Line to line. I wouldn't be surprised to see a reversal before that, but that's kind of what I'm looking for. And that gap is definitely, this hourly gap is definitely a target. I am recording this for Josh, by the way. I am going to post it and I'll submit the link. So,
I appreciate it, Scott.
yeah, no problem. I'm actually just going to start putting it on a private YouTube channel for now, just to have it there. It'll be easier.
Yeah, exactly. It's free storage too.
It's free storage. It'll be easier, and I can get view hours because I'm, like I said, a year from now or year and a half from now, I'm going to try to get something going for Mason. So, you know, once he's truly proven he can consistently do it in all markets, and so I have zero desire, but you know, damn social media kids.
Has its uses.
Plus, I need to practice on how to make sure I can get all the audio, to work, because I still want to use Zoom, but I only want certain people, if they're watching it like live at some point, to be able to comment, so, or talk. So I just got to, you know, there's ways to do it. I'm just not, you know, I'm not an editor guy. So I can call a couple of my buddies to do that stuff, and they'll know, but I'm gonna try to teach myself a new trick. I mean, Mason probably figured it out in 5 minutes. Just going, man. Look at that volume. Just red volume after red volume. You can start watching for that little descending wedge reversal. You know, maybe for a retest the underside of the channel or a retest of one of these bearish gaps. So, you know, I would kind of be looking for that here.
We do
ADX,
have one
RS.
over us. I would just, if I was not in a short right now, just keep drawing the bearish gaps until we invert one. Yep.
We do have ADX and RSI coming together, so you know the sell-off's going to slow down a tiny bit.
I
Here,
think this is gonna just continue. We're gonna find a bottom, go sideways until 10 o'clock, and then once 10 o'clock, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I mean, this doesn't look like it's stopping anytime soon.
No, volume's still going. So, I mean, I'll probably scroll out on the chart a little bit and see if I can find any sort of horizontals here at this point. Maybe we'll use the 15-minute. Use the 15-minute here.
Like this candle right here, Scott. This candle would close strong, basically over that super small mini gap. Are you getting in here and you're expecting it to continue?
Yes.
Okay.
No, nothing really pretty there on that spot, but and you know me, like once that RSI and ADX come together, that's when I really start to look for it.
No, right. And then once that candle started to build, I could tell. That's why I asked. So like when I asked, it was at like 57. So you've already gotten PT 1 and 2. And
If
then
you want to already, yep, correct.
Yep.
And then stop is now moved to the
Stop.
low of the candle behind it. So you can do it two ways. You can move the stop of the last candle now, because remember, when these work really good, they will make higher lows all the way back to the first, usually to the 50.
Right.
You know? So, or you can just make your stop, like if you took 50% off, which you should on an aggressive reversal like that, you should take some off, you know, basically 50% by PT2. You could always give it the low, and you'll still, if you stop out at the low, you'll still be green.
Yeah,
So,
right. Exactly.
it'll still be a green trade.
Yeah. I mean, even if you give it the bullish candle that you hop in on at the low, yeah.
Again, it's like once you get PT1 and PT2, you make it a free trade. Either it
Right.
continues and you get the 50 or the gap, where you want to add to the short or take a short. Okay. Or it's a free trade. Scaling on this chart. Yuck. And I don't know if Medic's on or wants anybody to know, but think good thoughts about his wife, man. She's having a hard time, so please think good thoughts. If you're the praying person, say a prayer for her. Having some kidney issues.
I don't know.
He's dealing with that stuff.
Say again. I just barely.
Oh, I said, just think good thoughts about Medic's wife. She's having some medical stuff. A lot of she had a major procedure and unfortunately an amputation a while back, and antibiotics and all that stuff have basically done a number on her kidneys. So,
Man, that sucks.
Anyone know her name, or should I message him? I'll probably message him.
message him.
Yep.
Let's go. Keep in mind, we rejected the 50, rejected the 25, we just tapped the 13. So a lot of times, remember, we ride EMAs down too. Excuse me. 9:47, 13 minutes till the news. Traders price 4/4 point in Fed cuts by it. What the hell? That's a terrible headline. Watch the underside of the channel here. Okay, just took some more off there. And I love these descending wedge reversals. Still a bearish chart, obviously, but I don't love these.
Watch that gap.
Yep. I don't want us to get back up in here. We got down to 463.15 on QQQ. Crap, I don't have True Social open right now. Jesus, I better do that. I forgot. I gotta get that.
Isn't he
Donald
supposed to be
Trump.
talking a lot today?
I think he is. Yeah, he was here in Michigan yesterday. So he just did post something 4 minutes ago. The case we have against 60 Minutes, CBS, and Paramount is a true winner. They cheated and defrauded the American people at levels never seen before in the political arena. Go for it there, Trumpy.
Y'all's governor is going to be catching some major heat for hugging on him and stuff.
Well, I mean, she talks so much crap about him all the time, and then she was there yesterday at so is that Selfridge, which is kind of cool. Selfridge, I guess about 45, 50 minutes from me. And like a lot of times they it's kind of funny. One of the guys who flies one of the Chinooks out of there, his parents live on the lake next to me. And he always, like, every time he's out flying the Chinook around, he always does a circle around the lake. It's pretty cool. So just to say hi to his parents.
50% of the bullish gap that we just created. That was not too shabby.
One right there.
Yep. Trend is still down, but if it's gonna get a reversal, you don't want to see this close below it, because then we're probably gonna make a new low.
And we just tapped the 50 exponential moving average on the 1 minute chart.
Yep. And that is that is a brand new 5 minute from that sell-off that we had at the open.
Still, again, those descending wedges they're really, really valid trades, especially on big down days. Watch the volume here. It's coming pretty hard this candle so far. It's not that high, but it's more than the last candle.
I would
So,
watch an underside retest of that bullish gap if we close this week under it for a new low. Just like that.
yep.
Come on, it's gotta continue. Be a new low.
I can see this thing flush again, but we'll see.
Come on, baby. Right there, 190 down to 170 within one candle. There we go.
Super nice.
That was good.
Breaking news. Dow drops 600 points after GDP contracts, raising recession fears. Thanks, CNN or CNBC. I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to be really interested to see PC because you would think with consumer sentiment and consumer confidence the way they were, PC would be down. So, I mean, we'll know in
break even on the rest.
we'll know in 7 minutes.
Sure. Comes and gets me on the rest, it's fine. I don't think it will. I think honestly you should make a new low before this news comes out.
Did we close that 5 minute gap that would have been there back up? Come on. Seriously, Ninja. No, see, now we got that. We got a nice 5 minute gap there too. Okay, good. Another one. That's perfect. Oh, we should be golden here. Look at that. We got 50% into the 5 minute. That's perfect. Oh, beautiful. This is going to work. Beautiful. Sayonara, MFR.
Anyone take that underside retest? That was not a bad spot. I mean, you could have taken the bearish gap, the super small bearish gap, that's on the 1 minute on top of it at like 212, but I did like that inversion one a little bit better.
Do you guys know how to extend trend lines without dragging them?
Yeah, you grab the end of it.
Or you could just you could like double
just-
click on the trend line and it should give you the option.
Yeah,
to
it should give you like the
extend it.
3 dots. You get the
Yeah.
3 dots. You should be able to do that. Click on the 3 dots and you can just grab one end of it and see. I can extend it.
The 3 dots.
Whee! Yeah, are you on Ninja?
No, I mean, so you see the one on your chart, the bottom one? Sometimes I can't extend that because
The
that's in
channel, you
line
mean?
with the RSIs.
Yeah, it's a channel.
Yeah, the channel's a pain. You got to grab the right spot. I think it's the top corner.
No. So I just figured it out. If you click on the trend line and then click on properties and you see the end time there,
Yeah.
you can extend that end time. You click, so mine was
Ah.
10:17. I changed it to 10:27. It just made
Ah,
it 10 minutes longer.
That's
Pretty
cool.
easy.
That's neat.
That gap still holding as a resistance. Not a bad spot. Got
Yeah,
another.
it's a five. You got that 5 minute in there now too. So
Yep.
next that other 5 minute.
Should get a new low coming up soon. The only problem is that we have news in 4 minutes. But here we go. There we go. Go, 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 go. Hit that order. Come on.
Dude, Ninja is a freaking memory hog. Unless I've got some setting wrong.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, we should keep going. We're gonna go to my line, dude.
There we go. That's fucking clean.
We're going to my line. 3 minutes and 10 seconds till news.
What's the bottom of your trend line? Basically like 19,100.
Well, that's that hourly gap, and then that's the bottom of the
okay.
channel. So the
Well,
bottom of the
alright,
channel and
yeah.
the hourly gap hit the same spot. So,
Okay.
I mean, I'm done. I'm very pleased. I had a good night last night, and I'm very pleased with this morning. So, I ain't
Crazy
mad.
how fast you can if you're on the right side and it's not choppy.
Yeah. Well, it's nice too when we're trading the way the news says we should be going. This is going to
right?
create
It's-
another big gap here. This candle, most likely. I doubt this thing fills back up, but we'll see.
That was money. 190 down to 120. It's very easy. And that's not even that was a second chart. So you took the long out of the open, the cheap trade, you got
Yep.
short. Well, I heard when you were hedging.
I got somewhere. Well, yeah, I started the hedge where that gap was, that 5 minute gap that I wanted to tap, added to that once. Okay. And on the way down, and then added back into this gap here.
And did you
So-
take the descending wedge play back up to
Oh, hang
the
on. My thing went off. Yeah, I took the descending wedge trade.
okay.
So I said descending wedge coming.
No, yeah,
Alright.
no, yeah, I know. That's why I asked when it was happening. I was just curious if you took it.
Two-minute soul news. I think that may be what it is that Ninja is a damn memory hog. I must have some setting wrong.
You have like Adobe open somewhere.
No, I mean, I have like 65 things open, but Ninja is the one that's using the most physical memory. So I guess I'll just add more RAM. Again, I mean, it's got 64 gigs of RAM. This computer. Yeah, whatever. I'll add some more.
Yeah, I've got 32 and it struggles sometimes. So I got to up it to at least
Like my
64.
CPU is at 3% and my physical memory is at 80% right now. Now, mind you, I have like 7 Chrome windows open too, but Ninja's the one that's using the most of the memory.
You ever tried clearing like all your old data? Because it actually stores like everything.
Yeah, I know. I just need to do a fresh install, honestly. You know, I mean, every now and then it's good to just do a fresh install on stuff. So I'll probably just do a fresh install on it.
Yeah, the cache is probably your cache might be huge.
Well, true. I mean, I probably have 3 years of goddamn trend lines stored in this because I never delete them all and then resave so my workspace, which I probably should do. I'll look up some. go
Did
to
you see Navarro? He just said that's the best negative print for GDP he's seen.
The what?
Best negative print
Huh?
for GDP. What does that mean?
No idea.
Watch the candle.
Anybody have financial juice open?
Just about open.
Yeah, mine's open.
Hmm.
News isn't out yet.
Yeah, it is.
Zoom spending is
I
better.
thought
That month over month was up a little. Pending home sales was actually higher than forecast too. It shocks the shit out of me. Like I said, the news is all contradictory.
Wow.
Watch this gap.
Pending home sales up a bunch. I guess, like I said, interest rates, did come down a tiny bit.
Wait, so what's the number?
Okay, now it's coming out. Year-over-year actual was down, well, slightly up actually, 2.3 over 2.2. Month over month was flat. And then price index, everything's coming out here. I mean, spending was up a tiny bit, so that being interpreted as good news. Wow, I would have thought with
Alright.
consumers, people wouldn't be spending money.
If we invert this bearish gap that we have to the left of us and we get this nice bullish gap here, watch for the line.
Don't think we're gonna reject this area.
Yeah, I'm obviously watching that gap that we were shorting before, but
Yep.
just based off of this candle here.
Yep, the news actually, as I said, it's crazy how the reports contradict each other. As long as the channel's intact, I'm happy.
That gap is still holding that inversion from before. That shit is
Yep.
still up. Wow. All right, wait till this candle closes.
The bottom of that 5-minute gap's gonna be 465 too on the QQQ, so we may end up tapping that again.
Yeah. Let's back on top.
People, yeah, I mean, it was higher than forecast. People spent more money than was forecast. Huh. Well. I still think we're coming down here. But we'll see. All right, you got two gaps here now. You got this bearish gap and a bullish gap. So we'll see what happens here. I'll take the last one. Watch the last one.
Yep, I watched that little bullish gap. I mean, we are sitting on top of that bearish, like the one that we just inverted, but I would like that bullish gap.
Have that line right? I do have that line right. Oh, very nice. Damn you, Scott. You're smarter than that. You should have had that there. Look at that.
Well, baby, come on, baby, give me that fucking go. Come on, continue.
A little tiny channel. Nice channel here now inside of this. So see what we got. What are the old pundits saying about PC?
Come on, baby, you can do it. You can do it. Here we go. Keep it going. Very much. There's PT2.
That's my wife. I gotta mute myself. My wife's calling. What's
So I
up,
was
dude?
back at break even. I don't want to see this candle come back down under 55. And we really want to see this candle make a new high and close over that wick.
This guy is your key right here. If you get back inside of this gap, reject it, and then hold this one, I'd look for the, well, get back inside this 5-minute gap. Okay, reject it, and then hold the top of this gap. You're gonna get that inverse head and shoulders.
There you go, baby. Come on.
Kind of what I watched for, the inverse head and shoulders now. I still think the GDP news is and the jobs news is way, way, way worse than the PC news, but we'll see.
I will be 75% out at the 50, and I will be trailing the rest.
Don't move your channel, you dummy. I didn't mean to do that.
So if you guys see like that bearish gap that we created from the 956 candle, that wick that we come back to is literally perfectly 50%, and then you have the bullish gap right there as well. We're still rejecting this gap from before, but I think we should get to 50 and then sit on top again and keep going. We'll see. I don't know. I'm in the right spot. Did you get long set?
I did not. I didn't take that.
Okay.
No reason why I didn't take it. I just, was talking to my wife for a minute and then
No,
was
yeah, you're good. I was just
reading the news. I mean, it's definitely a good valid trade there. My channel's intact. If it breaks out of my channel and sets up like I think it may, then I'll be good.
You might stop me out here on the back half. That's fine.
As long as my channel stays intact, I'm going to stay on that side of the trade.
Oh,
But yeah, that would have been a great valid scalp there for sure. You had both of those gaps, like you said, same
Yeah.
spot. So
And we
but
made
you
a
also have-
high over that candle, came back down and sat on top of it. Yeah.
keep in mind, you also have this little 5-minute guy here. So
I mean, even that inversion gap from before, from the 948 candle, we're still respecting that. So until we close over that, I would agree that the trend is still down and the channel's still intact.
like I said, if we hold this gap now, okay, watch for the inverse head and shoulders.
Yep. Yeah, we put in on another low, probably around in the 40s. Yeah.
Kind of what I'd be thinking here.
Yep.
Oh, Evan got a new phone, huh? Or a new phone number.
Oh, that's why he didn't answer back. I texted him.
Oh, did he not send you his new number?
No, I guess not.
How the fuck do I? Holy
Did not
shit.
get stopped out. Gotta love it. Missed me by 3 points. And there's a 50.
Yep.
Gotta love it. Now
Watch this 5-minute guy now.
Yep, watch the 5-minute guy.
That one I did get because I said the inverse head and shoulders. So
Yep. Just hoping other people got it too. But
I'm trying to send you his contact. I'm an idiot with an iPhone. How do I share contact? Share? How do I share it to somebody? This guy, yes, done. Oh, I gotta pick messages. Anthony. All right, I should, if I'm not iPhone illiterate, I should have sent you his new number.
yeah, I got it. Thank you.
Okay.
That's a clean one. I'm down to the last one, but that was 60 points. Not too bad.
Yeah, I just got the top of this gap here. I just took half off.
Yep.
You gotta get good at pattern recognition. Remember, I'm not a huge fan. I never was a huge fan of Head and Shoulders back in the day, but this stuff, when the gap kind of confirms it holds, obviously it's the inverse Head and Shoulders. When the gap kind of confirms it holds, you got to start looking for it.
Now that gap that was resistance before we made this last push should now hold a support, and we should see probably that 1 minute gap up at like 240s.
Gotta come out. Actually, I'd watch the 5. What do we have on the underside of the 5 minute here? Nothing. Okay. And you know what we also tapped, which I forgot to put the line in? I think we tapped the 200 on the hourly, didn't we?
You know it. I know it.
If my chart would ever do anything. Yep,
Yes,
we did.
did.
God damn it, Scott.
Yeah,
You
we
knew
did.
that this morning.
Literally on the money.
We
Wow.
tapped the 200 on the hour. I looked at that this morning and I knew I should have put a line in. Golly. That's all right. My own fault. I should have had a line there. Maybe I should have got on the call 4 minutes before the market opened.
Alrighty, just trailing the last one. Too shabby.
You might get the underside now of that hourly gap that was created this morning.
Yeah, and there's also a 5 minute that 5 minute before we dump
Yeah, no, I
dumped
have
after
that.
the open. Yeah.
Jesus Ninja. Now you're gonna get, yeah, you got that big, yeah, that's also, yeah, the top of the 5, bottom of the 5 minute.
Yeah. Only thing I'll mention right now is that we're at 465 on the Qs.
Yeah, we got back to 465. Yeah. We'll print either 470 or 460 today. I mean, it'll happen. I mean, we're gonna sweep $10 worth of QQQ guaranteed. All right, stupid robot.
There you go.
Why did my wife start the goddamn robot? Stop it! Stop attacking my feet.
Did you guys get a robot, Scott?
No, the damn vacuums. We have 2 of the whatever the D-Bot EcoVac AI Osmo deals, and she just happened to start them before she left, and one comes to my office relatively quickly. There we go. Watch
Very
the
nice.
next.
Yep.
Next spot is here.
Very nice.
Just tap the bottom of it. That's another little 1 minute guy there. And that, folks, is an inverse head and shoulders.
Paired with the gap.
Yep. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
the gaps confirm the support
Yep.
and inverse head and shoulders.
Very nice.
And when did I predict that? When we got in this gap, I said, watch, if we reject this gap, come down and hold this gap for the inverse head and shoulders. I don't have the entry Anthony has, but my entry's still good. It's 165. So
Yeah, I mean, I was in that 155, and then I added once it came down again.
yeah, you got it twice though. You made the same money twice.
Yeah.
So you made the same money twice. I did not there. But 100 points is 100 points, right? You know?
Yep, that is true. Can't get mad at 100 points.
That's where the gaps really help me though, is that like inverse head and shoulders setup where you can't really trend line that, but the
Yeah.
gap is the way that you can see that happen because
You
there's
can
no
see it,
really
yeah.
good way to trend line that.
Right. I get what you're saying. Right. That was it. That's the morning for me. That
Yeah,
was,
no, I'm good.
yeah. Yep.
I was happy with my morning down here. But
Yeah.
now I'm
So
even
am
happier.
I.
What happened?
All right, I'll be back in coffee.
Sir.
Watch this 5 minute gap that's coming up. We're in that big large one from the open candle.
I got it. I didn't drag it all the way over, but it's there. If I can grab it. It was 82 degrees here yesterday, and this morning it was 35. Can you believe that crap? 35 degrees this morning. Mother Nature's crazy. All right, drag the gap across. I still, if I was looking for the short, I would wait for the midpoint, honestly. The channel was invalidated, so I'll draw a new one here in a little bit. I don't really like the uptrend channel. It's really steep here. Kind of want ascending wedge. I mean, you could always look at the ascending wedge reversal.
We had crazy weather yesterday as well.
Did you?
Yeah, they thought there were gonna be tornadoes.
Yeah, we had a storm miss me by just a little bit. People thought there was a tornado.
Yeah, I don't know if any
One of the
touchdowns.
towns like 2 over, it blew the roof off of some roller rink or something.
Uh,
But I think we had 75-mile-an-hour. They said 75-mile-an-hour straight line winds we had yesterday. So
yeah, it was wild windy here.
I haven't seen Donald Trump hasn't said anything else today yet. What am I gonna look at real quick? See if this idiot's airborne right now. Not that it matters. He can communicate from anywhere. Oh boy. I do feel a little better today, just FYI. So that's good at least. Y'all have never done an electrolyte IV treatment, they are next level. Especially if you are you went out and partied too hard. There are services that'll, come to you and do it. Next level stuff.
So you're feeling better today, right, Scott?
Yeah, no, I feel better. I feel better. So.
Good.
Yup. I do
Well, if
feel
you can
better.
still bench 335, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm reasonably strong. I'm strong as hell still. It's just, the cardiovascular aspect of my health has not been the way it should be. So strength is never a problem for me. I've always been strong. I used to be able to rep 405 back in the day, but
At 405 on bench.
Jeez.
back in the day, Ant. Back in the
Oh,
day.
okay.
Been a minute.
Okay, I was about to
Been a minute.
say.
So
We did hold another bullish gap. I just
Well,
sat back down.
I think I've already done 100 push-ups.
today,
Yeah.
There you
Jesus.
go. That's fire. Good for you.
Every time I take a good trade, I do 20 push-ups.
You don't have like a pull-up bar there. Start doing the pull-ups, man. That's what gives you the.
No. I
You gotta
live in
do
an
pull-ups.
apartment and all the walls are concrete, so I can't really put a bar up.
You don't have a door frame that you can do one of the ones that hooks into the door frame.
I don't really
Kind
like
of,
those.
not
I feel like
really.
I'm always gonna break the door.
Dude,
Yeah.
I used to use one when I was 250 and it wasn't a problem.
Oh wow.
No shit, eh?
Yeah. I never had a problem with it. You just got to make sure it's hooked in correctly.
Yeah.
we just keep
Not the
drumming
one, not the
every
one that,
bullish
not
gap.
the one that's like, it's the one that hooks above the trim.
Yeah, I know what one you
Of the
mean.
door
Yeah.
frame.
Not the
So-
extending one.
Yeah, those
Yeah.
beams are pretty strong up there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you keep in mind, the header for a door frame is pretty strong.
You had a nice another bullish gap from before that held.
Another little tiny guy here.
Yep. I don't know if
As I
anyone
said,
took that like 237.
I would watch this midpoint is this candle right here, this 5-minute gap now. We reject there, it might be a good spot to start thinking about
120 points from our little inverse head and shoulder spot. Very nice.
Yep. We got the 5-minute back that I wanted.
Yep.
There's the midpoint of that gap. Like I said, was this candle right here, the high of that candle. Boom. Now let's see what happens. Let's see if we get a break to the top or not. We are at 466.20 now on QQQ.
Even though the current momentum is up and we are in an uptrend channel, just be aware that the overall trend is still down. We're still under VWAP and all that. So if this comes down hard afterwards, this little retracement, don't be surprised.
Buddha.
He's my Ninja Trader stuck.
It's stuck.
Yeah, it's just like not.
Go
updating.
check your resource monitor and see what your memory, it says your memory is. You know how to do that?
Yeah, taskmaster.
Just go in the search
83%.
window and just type in resource monitor in the little search window. Open that up and then see what it says your physical memory is that you're using.
Yeah, memory's at 83%, and Ninja
Yeah,
Trader is using
Ninja's a
most of
hog.
it. Jeez.
Ninja's a hog.
Yeah, it's at the top too. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill it and bring it back up.
Ninja Trader is a hog.
You know, I found out that Tradeovate, I've never used it, but if you have a Ninja Trader account, you actually have a Tradeovate account too.
Mm-hmm.
The same login works.
Right.
So Anthony, you use the top step X, right?
Yep.
He uses
Yeah.
X, yeah.
Has that logged up on you at all or anything? Or
No, I mean,
X is web
sometimes-
based though, so I
Yeah.
mean,
or is it?
Well,
Okay.
I don't know why everyone says it's web based. I guess I just got the application for it like early or whatever, but
yeah.
it does sometimes freeze, but that's like it's been pretty good since we've gotten out of the crazy volatility of like the tariff shit.
Mhm. Yeah, I guess everything has its pros and cons.
I
Oh,
like.
of course.
I think X is a good platform for like the way you can manage risk, but you can do it in Ninja too. But the only thing I don't like about X is you cannot have ATM strategies in it. Like if they would,
That is the only thing. Yes,
if they would put in like I can hit the key and have all my price targets. Remember all the stuff I showed you, Ashish, like
Yeah.
how I could just, once I hit the key, it basically everything's automated unless I change my mind.
Right. Right, the
You know,
three
and
level.
I'm always
algorithm.
moving orders around. I'm always moving orders around after I place it, but it's nice. Like when I say one of those cheap trades, perfect spot to hit, like the 5 or 10 point key.
Mhm.
By the way, we did just basically complete the inverse head and shoulders. So here we go from here. Nice, nice, nice. Question is, do we take out 470 or 460 today? I didn't even look at what SPY's at right now. I didn't even check the ES this morning. SPY's at 545, so they nailed that. They did not print 540. What's Tesla doing today? It's had a hell of a run. Tesla's down 5% today. Wow. What did I miss? Tesla's down 5%.
Everything is kind of down, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, we're all red.
5%. Nvidia is down 3%.
All right, that is complete. So it's the last one we got to watch right here. And then this is the bottom of that hourly gap from overnight, right here. So you were coming into a 5-minute and then the bottom of the hourly. So this is where things are gonna get interesting.
You know, funny
And
thing is
we
on my
have-
watch list.
And we have VWAP at the top of that this 5-minute gap as well.
Yeah, yeah, VWAP and the 200 on the one.
Yep.
I was just saying, every time I look at my watch list on Webull, I look up Tesla and Nvidia. Right underneath, I have Bull, and I still remember Scott, you were saying shorting it
Mhm.
from what? April 10th or 11th? It was 79. Now it's at 13.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Yes, sir. You know, I mean, you remember I used to, sometimes I miss trading the trash or trading, you know, some of those really, really crazy moves, but the bank account don't miss it, honestly. And the stress
Yeah.
level is a whole lot less.
Yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, the
I'm
chart's a
so
lot
glad
easier
that
to
we
deal
switched over
with.
this.
The chart's a lot easier to deal with, you know, so it's like,
Yeah, no, I'm loving this, and I'm like, I think the learning curve, at least for me, is much easier here.
the only thing that, like I was talking to Anthony a little bit yesterday, that was hard initially for me to get over is, you know, we could have 100, we could make 100, you know, 120 point move quickly and still only be like a 0.5%, you know, not even that. And like, if you look at the ADR right now on like QQQ, for instance, I mean, the ADR on QQQ is very, very high, which means it has a big average daily range percentage wise. So, you know, that's why it's very important that if you pick the top of the trend or the bottom of the trend and stick with it until you see like a pattern that, you know, is like this inverse head and shoulders here, and put the hourly in, and we're now into the hourly. So see what we get.
Yep.
And I'm just down to a few runners now, and I'm looking, I don't even know, it's 10:30 in a minute. So I'll see how this reacts here and try to decide. I'm going to try to be better again about adhering to my 10:30 policy. It was nice to take a couple of trades last night and have a nice cushion for today. There's that 5-minute right there. I gotta fix it. That's what it was. What's this annotate crap? I don't have that open. Huh.
All right, guys, I'm gonna take off for the day. I've got a million
Alright.
things to do before my trip tomorrow.
Okay.
Um, But
Have
I'll
have a good time.
yep. Yeah, I'll
I'm
be on
jealous.
tomorrow morning for a little bit too, but I just
Alright,
got a
cool.
million things to do.
I'm jealous. The only thing I'm not jealous of is the damn flight you got to take. Screw that shit.
I know.
So-
Yeah.
What is it, like 23 hours total?
Total is 22 something. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
enjoy, have a good time.
Yeah, and you know what? If who knows, it's like 9 p.m. something over there right now. So if I'm not doing anything, I might log in. We'll see.
All right, cool. Yep.
All right, see you guys.
Enjoy,
All right,
Ashish. See it.
There's
Thank you.
VWEF and the 200 on the one. So look at the volume. I mean, the volume's coming right now. So volume's still strong here. Made that little break to the top side. You got good volume coming in. I hate to say it, but that inverse head and shoulders was trade of the day. Damn. So far.
We could be going for yesterday's low, which is 380 or so.
Yeah, 373.
Yeah.
My first puff, it was love at first light. Fell in love at first night. My uncle told me don't rush. This could be your first crush. Now I'm on the block with all the homies and it's a family affair. 17 with a wind blowing smoke in the air. Certain things, my routines, why work that year? Avoiding the fucking planets in my review mirror. County blues, one cool shit, I'm with all of my peers. Looking back, I wouldn't say shit, but what a career. I used to flip back with her, stick class with her. Yeah, she comfortable as fuck when I'm trying to smash with her. She got a lot of fans and they always come rap and I hatches to ass the dust look like a laugh the rush. I can't get past the rush, never pass her. Took this bitch once wide, nigga, we gassing up, now it's up.
I should have said that was a cheap attempt there to try it. I didn't.
I
I'm
was
sorry.
just about to ask you. Did
I should have
you-
said that. I should have said it. I
I
tried
was
it. I should have
literally
said it.
not even gonna lie.
I should have
Just
said
about
it.
to
Three
ask
three
you.
lower highs. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna try this. I should have said it. My own damn fault. You know, that 5-minute gap was there.
No, I know, but like, I mean, we wicked through VWAP. tapped the one right on top of it, came
Yeah.
right back down, gave us 4 candles in a row to risk off of. Now watch this candle if it makes a bearish gap. We don't really have like, I mean, there's a small bullish one that we just inverted, but just watch. I would want to see it, how this candle closes first.
I don't think it will. I think this is gonna fill it back up.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it's gonna bounce along VWAP for a bit.
I'm
See.
done for the day. It's all good. Just practicing.
Yeah, you're gonna get that bearish gap. Wow.
Yep.
4 seconds, unless something crazy happens in 4 seconds.
I don't think so. There we go.
I think we need to close this hour under this hourly gap if we're gonna go back down. Personally, that's kind of what I think.
Which gap? Which gap? Oh, that one. Okay.
A big hourly one, I think we need to
Yeah,
close
that's it.
under it if we're gonna go back down. So, we still got 23 minutes left or something, 22 minutes left.
I just want to say I'm doing better over here.
Good.
There we go.
It took a minute, huh?
There we go. That makes me happy.
Good.
Between the two styles and the
Your own
ATM
style.
and the ATM, well, yeah, a little bit. And then the ATM that Scott, you wrote up a little while back. I tweaked that a little bit, so I do, instead of 6, I do 3 micros.
Good.
So having the price target 1 and 2, and I see how often that either just the 1 hits or 1 and 2 hit, and like you say all the time.
Yeah, I mean, usually if you take it in the right spot, you're usually
Yep.
always, getting 1 and 2.
Mhm.
Yep.
Anthony's gaps are helping with getting the right entry. And that
Yeah, no,
adds up.
again,
Definitely
I do
adds
like
up.
them.
Yep.
I do like them. So, I mean, as I said, like I wouldn't have looked for these head and shoulders wouldn't have worked well for me, like these inverse or regular ones, without having these like gap confirmations like that. That's something that really has kind of helped me with those types of reversals. So, I agree.
Well,
Nice.
it's just been a few things, to get things gelling here, just me, my own mental, with all the crap I had going on and getting that all off my plate this year. And there's a few other little things. My kitty cat's he's doing all right, but he's hanging in there, but we'll see how he does. He still has
It's
some
tough,
issues.
It's tough to trade stressed.
Yep.
Trust me.
Definitely. But this is almost putting it on. I had some ATMs set up, they just weren't working, and every time I'm like trying to tweak them as I'm in them, I'm trying to move them around, and it's always, I don't know, Ninja Trader just for me is a pain in the ass. Trying to
Yeah, I
move,
saw that first test,
move
the
them.
first test
Yeah.
of the bearish gap, just to bring it up while we're talking about the
It
gap.
tapped that gap right there.
Yep.
So just having
just-
this automatically set up to go and hit the price targets is great.
Yep.
Right, because like what you're saying, basically, like on that example right there, right? So like you hit the ATM key right when you get into the bearish gap, you already got PT1 at least, and then you're trailing the rest.
Yeah, and then your stop moves to break even, and you're good to go.
Yep,
So,
exactly.
I mean, The key is to try to to get the entry at the right time.
No, but even if you're getting price target one, it's giving you kind of a free trade, or at least you made
Yeah,
a little
yeah, no,
bit.
agreed.
And
Agreed.
that's adding up too. I mean,
It
you know,
does. Like I've said before, you know, some of those days when I fight when I fight the trend, I scout my way to glory until I get the really, really good one. You know, and if I take sometimes 8 or 10 trades where I get PT1 and PT2, that's 150 points.
Right.
That's also working for scalping too.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, it's bumping out of the last one, maybe. You get both price targets and then the third one, okay.
Yeah.
Just
Well,
get
like I said too, then
knocked
you get
out.
the confirmation you're on the right side. You can add back to the trade, and then the scalp, the entry as a scalp turns into a trade. You know, how many times have I said it? You try it with the ATM key, and then hopefully the scalp turns into a trade. You know that you're on the right side, especially if you're trading the reversal side. So, you know, if you're trying to get that big move off a reversal.
Right, but you know, like that's why I like the gaps, right? So like this entire 150 point move up, there's no bearish gap. The second that we get a bearish gap, we got a lower low, we come back up, test it perfectly. That's a no drawdown trade if you hit it at the right spot. And it also, like, I mean, Scott will scout the opposite side. So did you, Scott? I mean, you were long, but did you try any like hedge?
I
trade
didn't. No, no. Once I said it looked like an inverse head and shoulders, the first time I started looking at it was when I said we filled that inverse shoulders, head and shoulders back up, but we
Okay.
were just below that hourly gap, and I'm like, you know, we're probably going to tap that. And you
Gotcha.
mentioned VWAP, and I looked up, and I'm like, oh yeah, VWAP in the 200. Then I get 3 lower highs. You know, it's okay. All right, we'll give it a shot here.
Yeah.
So, busy chatting with race car buddies on some stuff right now. Ah, that didn't work.
Yeah, stop that on the back half. Completely okay with that.
Yeah, I'm wondering where this candle's coming from here.
I was actually just gonna say that because there's some volume coming in here.
Yeah. Oh, I wonder what this candle's
Mexican president has just said something about tariffs.
Of course. Sons
Classic.
of biscuits.
Now you're gonna get a
Of
pretty
course.
darn big bullish gap now that we
Yeah,
can
you
play
got a
off
good
of.
one. Look for the
Yep.
low now.
Yeah, the low of yesterday. Let's
The
go.
U.S. easing of tariffs on the auto sector is a step forward, a recognition of the North American trade agreement. Okay.
Oh,
I don't think that that's yeah, we'll refill that back down here at some point. We'll see. Unless she keeps talking for a bit. That's really not, I mean, that's still not crazy volume. I mean, we haven't even seen 2,000 contracts yet on that. So where are we at here? We're at 468. So they're gonna go after that at 470 now, I bet. So 470 is 65 points away. So we may go for 19,400. Which, believe it or not, will be the middle of the hourly gap. That'll be the middle of that gap from this morning. I really wanted this thing to close below this hourly gap right here. If we were going to go back down, but we still
please tell me someone just took that little scalp right there to the middle. Oh,
15 minutes.
money. All right, that's the day. I'm just gonna trail this and let it go as far as.
And
Yep.
I'm pretty much done. I'll leave the call open for a little bit, but I'm going to go ahead and probably come back and see if we tap 19.4, because that'll be 4, like I said, 470 on QQQ. So
So like what I've realized also is like when the days where the move is kind of obvious, the gaps work really well. It's when we're on a spot on a daily chart where there's some chop. That's where, you know, you gotta sometimes the edges, right? So like there's actually I'm trying to like create like a system behind like determining what's the best because sometimes the edges work better than the gaps, and the gaps only give you like a little bit where the edges work better. So just something to keep in mind because you know, I'll always still trade the, you know, put the lines on the chart and trade the gaps, but sometimes, you know, one works better than the other.
yeah. Did we make it all the way back to that trend line? No, we're through that trend line. Wee.
So Scott, do you have any advice for me when I start doing the call? Anything I should, you know, focus on? Because now I've traded with you for long enough.
I mean, we can talk. We'll talk about it off.
Okay.
Just remember, dead air is the hardest thing to deal with. You know, dead.
Yeah.
So
But
you know,
you know, I don't
basically
have a
just
problem
talk
talking.
about your. I mean, you know, the simplest advice I could be is just talk through what your mind is telling you and what you're looking at.
Yes.
Just say, all right, I'm looking at, you know, the volume here on this. You know me, like when I trying to clue in on something, I will say, or I'm trying to figure out why a move is happening the way it is. I'll say to myself, okay, what's the volume doing here, or where's ADX and RS? The stuff that I like to look at. Just like
Right.
on that move up, what did I say? I said the vol we didn't even print a 2,000 contract candle. Okay, it's going to refill this back down. So like the volume was not coming strong there, and it did. So, you know, refilled the news candle right back down. So, you know, it's just one of those. Sometimes the stuff that is obvious to you is not obvious to the other people.
Right. I
You know
get
what I'm saying? Like me, and that's what I had to get good at. A lot of times people, why'd you do that there? Well, that's why I started to say, okay, I'm looking at the volume. The volume's really not rolling in here, or holy shit, look at the volume rolling in. Something happened. You know, so there's some news. Find the news. You know, and obviously trying to predict, you know, what the setup is going to do. You know, for instance, when we got that first little, you know, descending wedge reversal, you know, I said, start to look for the descending wedge or start to look for this play. Try to get your mindset into, okay, this is now what I'm going to start looking for my next trade.
Right. Oh, I mean, even when we were down, we got that news candle, right? You know, the trend was down, but I was like, watch this bullish gap if we close. You know, yeah, I get what you're saying. It's just like talk through it before it happens so that people can get ready for it. You know.
And the thing too is like sometimes if you're stumped, you know, that's why I'll ask the question sometimes: does anybody see something I'm missing here? Why the hell are we stalling here? You know, sometimes if you're stumped, there's nothing wrong with, you know, asking, does somebody have anything here? You know, because I mean, you can't, as much as I like to say you can keep track of everything, sometimes it's difficult to do, especially when you're trying to manage your own position, you know, sometimes two positions, you know, it's difficult sometimes to catch every little thing. And definitely, you know, I know you are like me, you chart stuff reasonably quick, but you know, in the beginning, go in with your charts ready to go. Don't hop on like me and do them in 3 minutes, you know.
No, okay.
You know, it's just for me that works the best. But if I would have spent 5 minutes this morning, I did see where the 200 was on the hourly. I would have actually put the line there. I just was like, it was a minute till the open. I'm like, oh crap, you know, now I got to get
And
ready to trade.
should I keep the those longer term EMAs? Because I obviously don't really use the EMAs unless I'm like in a trade and just kind of following it. But should I look for the EMA targets on like a daily basis just to
Because
see where we are?
look at yesterday and today. This chart. I want to flip to the hourly. This is gonna be a prime example once the damn chart updates because Ninja Trader is retarded. Look at yesterday and today. So yesterday, okay, we never got above the 50 on the hourly. Okay. Today we held the 200 on the hourly. So EMA to EMA. Or yesterday we rejected.
We
under
were
the
on
200
top
hourly.
of the 50 yesterday.
We came back. If you go back out, we came back, tested it, and then came down. So it's just one of those things where, okay, we came all the way down to the next major level of hourly support as far as moving averages go. Okay. And that was the 200, which we tapped perfectly, you know, and I looked at it this morning and I should have put the damn line there. That was my own fault. So. But all right, I'm gonna go ahead and mute myself. I may do a little bit more charting here in a bit. And then, like I said, I'm gonna record this and I'll upload it. Well, it is recorded. I'll upload it and I'll post a link for it. So, this way Josh can see it, or whoever wants to, if anybody wants to, study anything or go back over kind of what was talked about, we'll do that. So we did fill that candle back down. And again, I want to see this thing close below this hourly gap. 9 minutes. So I'm going to walk back in 8.5 minutes and see where it is. I'll be back.
And I'm gonna chill. I'm going to mute as well. Yeah, it was a good day. This was a great day to. We had a lot of stuff following the trend out of the open. Then we got a nice reversal play with a gap on top of news. We had a really nice reversal, and now we're sitting at the top. I honestly think that we could come back down now. And by the way, we did invert that. We just closed below that candle that was the news. So, and we do have a small bearish gap that from the candle two candles behind us. This is not the candle you want to short though, because that was extremely strong. And we are technically holding another gap, that open gap from the open candle. We did just sit back on top of that. So actually, if I was gonna go short, I would not actually look for a short until we close a candle under 262. Nice bullish gap. Both bullish gaps held after that candle that held that gap. That large bullish gap held. We didn't close below. Then we made another bullish gap and we tapped the top. Or actually, well, that's right in the middle. Shit.
It
Yeah,
looks like a
tapped the-
one-minute flag too.
Yep. Hey, who's that talking?
News on,
It's Alex.
Oh, okay. Wait. There's
Lurking.
news blur?
You said what?
No, I was just curious.
4 minutes ago,
News.
China lifts sanctions against European Parliament members. I don't know what that means, but
And there is yesterday's low. All right, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Remember, I think they're gonna try to clear 470 on QQQ here. We are 85 cents away, which would be 40 points. So 420 area. Like I said, they're gonna clear that out. It'd be really cool if they come down and clear out 460.
Insurance, it's like finishing your laundry and successfully matching all your daughter's baby socks together on the first try.
Granted, those options are close enough there to be in the money, so
Tiny socks. I mean, has this ever happened in the history of
lace ending wedge set up here.
you? Yep, switching and saving with Geico, just like that. Get more.
Scott, are you still on?
Yeah, I'm sitting here watching, just waiting for 470 to print.
Yeah,
Which
Trump
it
is
is
having
going
a
to.
cabinet. There's a cabinet meeting with Trump live now starting.
470 just printed, so that's what I was looking for in QQQ.
Oh, yeah.
So- Yeah, I'm sitting here browsing the internet for a minute. I've been walking in and out. Well, I predicted a 10-point swing on QQQ. We got it. So. That's we're only at 8 points. I'm sorry. We never did clear out 460 yet. It would still wouldn't shock me to clear out 460 today, but we'll see. Depends on what Trump says. All right, I'm out. Remember, news tomorrow. More news tomorrow. What's news tomorrow? Tomorrow. Jobs at 8:30, and then we got news when we on. So initial jobless claims tomorrow at 8:30. So I'm kind of keep an eye on that. All right, I'm gonna kill the screen share from here. I was looking for that 470. We got it. So be interesting to see where here. Yep. That's the top of the hourly gap, bottom of the hourly gap, and then we have the other hourly gap down here, which would be 460 on QQQ. So everyone have a good day. See you tomorrow.